Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for being here today. This is a very important occasion for the Rupani family, the Rupani Foundation, and Ibn Sina. A lot of work has been done for today, for years to get to this point. We're going to be having Congressman Al Green join us. He's running a little bit behind, but he's bringing a very big check. So he gets to be late when he wants to. We have gotten a very nice chair for him because he has delivered for his constituents and delivered for healthcare in our region. So when he comes in, if I can ask you to join us in applause when he walks in, it would mean a lot to us because we really want to thank him for his leadership and his hard work in the United States Congress to help the constituents of the 9th Congressional District, but more overall, all of Houston and all of Harris County. So when he comes in, I'm going to ask you to join me in applause. With that, I'd like to introduce Chairman Rupani, who doesn't need an introduction, but let me just say this. He is dogged, he is relentless, he's aggressive, he's gentle, he's kind, to make sure that the future of all our children are great and that all of our community are served. He works harder than anybody else for $0. And every morning you'll see he gets up early, he goes to bed late, he goes to Austin, he goes to Washington, he goes wherever it's needed to help the kids, to help the families of the neighborhoods that Ibn Sina Clinic serves across this region. So with that, please welcome him with a warm round of applause. Chairman Rupani.
Very good morning to all of you. Thank you, Mustafa, for a generous introduction. I'm just a social worker. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I see a lot of elected officials. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I want to thank each and everyone here to come and celebrate this also history-making event for Ibn Sina. This is the largest grant ever we have received. So welcome you all. So I want to welcome you all to this wonderful celebration. Ibn Sina has been serving for almost over 21 years in this community. And this would not have been possible without the community support from the elected officials and the community leaders. So I want to really thank each and everyone present here today for their support. Since the beginning, Ibn Sina has been addressing the community need. As we are progressing with the community need, we started with primary care, medical services, and then we added our dental services, we added our children's clinic, we added our mental health services, and now we are expanding our mental health services as the community needs are. So currently, as you know, mental health service is a very dire need in the community here. We have so many refugees, new immigrants living in this neighborhood. They had trauma back in their home, when they arrived, they had trauma here, and we need to take care of them, or they're going to be a burden on the community. We must take care of our children here. I believe when a child is a new immigrant who has arrived here, a child who is a new refugee and is now settled here in the U.S., it is our responsibility, not because of our child. It is our responsibility to take care of those children and those families who arrive and be part of this tapestry here. So I want to really request all our elected officials to please support Ibn Sina so we can extend our services further to the needy communities here. So without your support, this would not be possible. So I would really request your support to extend our services to the community. Currently, Ibn Sina has 6 locations all over Greater Houston, and will be serving in 2023. We're expected to serve 100 million patients this year. In 2022, we served almost 85,000 patients in 2022. And once we extend this new building, we're expanding that this complex itself will be serving almost 50,000 patients per year after we have our new building that will be coming up. Thank you. The new building that will be coming up will have 2 floors. First floor will be completely dedicated to surgery services. We'll provide full-scale surgery center. We'll provide procedure center. And in the evening, we will be doing a lot of dialysis center also. So we're going to turn the surgery center and the procedure center into a dialysis center after 5 p.m. The second floor will be completely dedicated to mental health services. We have already hired several, I would say, staff for our expansion. We have very recently hired our director for our mental health, Dr. Durham. She's around here. If you can wave, Dr. Durham. Yes, Dr. Durham, thank you. To lead the entire mental health program. So we are already ready to expand, but if we have support and funding, we will be able to scale up and provide better service. So thank you again, all of you, for being here, and thank you for all your support. Thank you.
I saw the Asad get really nervous. You know, we're going to see 100,000 patients this year, and the chairman raised it to 100 million, and the Asad went out of the room going like, oh God, now what am I going to do? We are on track right now. We're the second largest nonprofit clinic system in Harris County. We are on track to be #1, and not in bragging rights, but in the ability to serve everyday people and people that don't have access to healthcare, that don't have a health insurance to do. So with that, what I like to do is take a moment and for us to stand up for the national anthem, and then we'll continue with our program. So please join me. You know, when I hear the national anthem, it means something. Please have a seat. it means different things to all of us. It means something to all of us. In this neighborhood, in where we are, people come from all over the world to be here, and they've sacrificed a great deal to get here. And I was here at an Ibn Sina event years ago, and the chairman has the national anthem played at every event. We have somebody sing the national anthem, and there was this an older gentleman that was in the back, and he kept on rubbing his eyes. So I thought this. I kind of put my arm around him and said, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "It's taken me so much to get my family to this country," and his just whole body just shook because what it meant for him to be here, to be standing in this room, to be of service to others. So I every time I hear it, and I know the chairman insists on playing it every time, it is a meaningful thing for me because of what he said. And I know my family moved here as well. So with that, I want to get started with our program. We're going to move a little bit out of order. We have a number of public officials here that want to give remarks. We have a lot of our ethnic press members that will be kind of broadcasting that and putting it in the community. I know that our new county commissioner has got someone move a little bit around to accommodate schedules, but I know you just took a tour of the Sina Clinic, and I know you just wanted to say a few words, so please join me here.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mustafa, and thank you, Chairman Rupani. Let's please give a round of applause to him, the leadership, and to all of the staff members who are here day in and day out serving our community. I was so moved today to see the level of commitment with all of the team members in the clinics and to hear the story of the expansion and the impact this is having in our community is powerful. And I'm so happy to now be serving as your Harris County Commissioner for Precinct 4. And welcome to Precinct 4, where we are now, and thank you to the fellow elected officials for your true public service and commitment to our community. And to Congressman Al Green, who we will see shortly, thank you for delivering such substantial amount of funding to our community so that we can expand this excellent work. So thank you, Congressman Green. I know all of us are proud to live here in Harris County, where we have world-class medical care. We are proud. We are proud of the sacrifices our families made to get us to this country, to this land of opportunity, and all of the progress we've made. But as proud as we are of that, it is equally unacceptable, troubling, and disappointing that in a place with world-class medical care just down the road, we have such disparities in access to health care. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And so thank you, Chairman Rupani, for your leadership, your vision, your generosity, that of your team, and that of these elected officials, and all of you, because everyone is here is on the front lines every day. So I look forward to joining you all, my team. Thank you to Alice Lee, my chief of staff here. We are all in because we will keep moving forward. And the reality that is today, where there's a 20-year difference in life expectancy depending on your zip code in this city, we will be closing that day in and day out because of the leadership in this room. So thank you to everyone here. Thank you again, Chairman Rupani, for inviting me, and I look forward to many years of service together. Thank you.
I know that some of you will have to leave, so feel free. This is an open program. With that, I'd like to County Judge KP George to address us.
First of all, good morning, everyone, and
Good morning.
thank you for inviting me to Precinct 4 in Harris County. I appreciate it. But the interesting thing about it is, we always say this, when I came into office 4 years ago, and I said, you know, it's so important we work with City of Houston and Harris County, so on and so forth, because there is no zip code for floodwaters, there is no zip code for traffic, because it is not going to end at the county line. So since then, I took a special interest in working with Judge Lina Hidalgo and all commissioners there, at least most of them. And that's a joke. Come on. So, yeah, see, this is why my wife said, don't try to joke, because you're not that good at it. So also I'm saying it's so honored, so privileged to stand here, because coming from we call Deshi, South Asians, and I don't know you know this, the South Asian community is one of the most successful communities in this. I'm not finished saying what I wanted to say. And so they are successful, but they mind their business. That's a fact. And I'm from that community, so I could tell. But that's where Mr. Rupani stand up. And you know, they are here, successful, pay tax, and you know, make money, and that's what opportunity, that's what this country is all about. But Mr. Rupani found meaning to that success. And every time I see him, I repeat it until you say it's boring, and I will repeat it, because it's important to know what you started and what kind of impact it's going to create in this region. I'm going to claim Fort Bend County too, because I know that you serve people coming from Fort Bend County, Harris County, and making a difference. And also, I tell you this, we all know that the medical, or any kind of disparity exists. It always affects people of color. We all know that, you know, disproportionately. And Mr. Rupani's vision, rather than building the second home or, you know, buying another thing or so on and so forth, he decided to serve this community, building the community. That's what America, in my opinion, is all about. And he understood that. And thank you, Mr. Rupani, and you're making it. And I heard you served 85,000 people last year and looking to increase up to 100,000. And I tell you this, always I say this to people, sometimes we start something small. When the intentions are right, it can take it, you have no idea how big it can get. And one day, I wish you're going to have a non-profits which is going to be the largest in the nation. And it can happen because the intention is very, very clear. Serving the public. And I see some of these people. Fort Bend County also tried to provide medical services to our indigent population, people of color, people of economically disadvantaged. This is so important here, this facility. And of course, as my friend Mustafa said, you know, Congressman Al Green is a good friend. And of course, 9th Congressional District, a portion of it is in Fort Bend County. And I work very closely with Congressman. It's an honor to know him and to get to know him and work with him closely. And so he is a true public servant. And sometimes people talk about, oh, you're a politician, the other person is a politician. I refuse to be called a politician, because you're not saying that word with any positive connotation. You're saying that you're like the other one. No, you don't have to be. And you know what? Public servants, and in my opinion, I look up to Congressman Al Green and his vision, and I learn from it. And I invite him every opportunity I get in our county to be part of what he's trying to do. And so I just wanted to thank him for his vision to support this noble cause. And I know that there are many elected officials and community leaders in the audience and sitting here. And thank you for your commitment. Today is Thursday, 10 o'clock. You could have been doing a lot of things differently, but you're here. You care about what is going to be happening here. I just wanted to, in closing, I wanted to say thank you for your vision. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your vision, sir. And thank you for all our elected officials' vision, so that we could continue to serve and continue to make this community a better place, not only just for us, our children and generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Commissioner Briones, for welcoming us to your precinct. With that, I'd like to ask the Dean of the Texas Senate, Senator Whitmire, to say a few words. Senator Whitmire is also running for mayor. Very excited to have him here today.
Thank you, Mr. I'm thankful that we're all allowed, Mr. Chairman, to gather today. It's my strong opinion that each of us present today will leave here better than when we arrived, because we're celebrating such a great opportunity to serve our community. See, I strongly believe that we're all public servants. Whether you're ever on the ballot or not, each of us have a responsibility and are, in fact, a public servant. And someday, I think we're going to be asked, what did you do while you were a public servant? What I'm really impressed with today is the levels of government here. Mr. Chairman, if you start and look at Tiffany Thomas, our council person, Edward Pollard, our exciting county commissioner whose energy got me kind of fired up a moment ago, our county judge, our exciting new state representative, Alani, and Mr. So if you really think about it, there's enough firepower here today to move a mountain. And it's the leadership of each level of government. And I will close by saying I am a strong, Gene Wu, I didn't mean to overlook you. I was going to give you a special invitation. Gene is already working on me this morning what we need to do in Austin. And we do, all of us, need to be contacting our state reps and state senators, because that surplus is our surplus. They like to say it belongs to the people. Well, why don't you listen to what the people want to do with it? And we want to put it in mental health. And, you know, I can applaud a tax break of maybe $200 on a $200,000 home. But, you know, think what we can do if we're united with our $200, which the appraisal district will take from you the first opportunity. So we need to go back to Austin and talk about mental health, our infrastructure, and the things that the people actually are asking us to spend their money on. So thank you. I'm fired up. The legislature's in session. We have an opportunity. In fact, I've already inquired as what's it going to take for all of us to have a chair the size of Al Green's. Mustafa told me it would probably be about a $1 million gift from the state of Texas. So I've got a lot of work to do, and let's get started. Thank you.
Congressman Green just brought $1.7 million. You have $30 billion surplus. So with that, I'd like to invite your House colleague, now our senior representative, Gene Wu.
Thank you so much. Salam alaikum. I'm always thrilled to be at Ibn Sina events, because I know that this is for the people, right? But more so than that, especially this event, because it touches so much on mental health. And just for you, those of you that don't know, my day job is I represent kids in CPS care, and I represent kids in the juvenile justice system, right? Both areas have a big Venn diagram, both big overlapping circles with mental health. And as you can imagine, that kids that have suffered a lot of trauma, who have been abused, who have just gone hungry, who have been beaten, who have been through so much, they develop mental health issues, unsurprisingly. And many of those mental health issues, guess what? They become criminological issues. And this clinic, this philanthropy, this donation, this love is not just about healthcare. This is about protecting our society. This is about making America the promise that we all have been promised, right? Because it gives opportunities for people and families and kids who deserve the same opportunities that we all have. If they can get help for their trauma, if they can get help for mild mental health issues, before they become big mental health issues. It will mean young boys and girls will have the opportunity to grow up into wonderful adults instead of risking their lives and going to prison. This is a sea change for our entire community, and I want to thank everyone here, and especially Mr. Rupani, for their dedication, for their love, for their commitment to not just being successful themselves, but once they have become successful, that they share their success with the entire community. And that is what it means to be an American. Thank you so much.
Representative Wu was a volunteer for decades before he went into public service and ran for office. I remember him, was on the phone with him, he was going to somewhere, and I'm like, where are you headed in a rush? He's like, I gotta go meet my Big Brother, Big Sister program. And so he's done that for years and years and demonstrated what public service means. And Dr. Sulaiman Lalani is no different. He's been a physician serving the community for many, many years. And now this is his first year as a moment of pride to be the first Muslim American to serve in the Texas legislature. Please help me welcome Dr. Sulaiman Lalani.
Thank you, Mustafa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable civic and civil leadership, respected guests and friends, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, let me congratulate Mr. Nasrubai, Ibn Sina Foundation, and all the volunteers for getting this grant, the long-awaited and well-deserved. And also thank you and the Ibn Sina for serving the community, especially the underprivileged and marginalized segment. Last month, I was here at one of the events, and you said you crossed about 1 million patient care. That's a huge milestone. I would like you all to give him, all of them, an honest applause. You know, talking about health and well-being, we have the world's largest medical center here. Not US largest, world's largest. And who's who of the world fly in and get the treatment done. But our own people cannot cross the street to get help. And that's the challenge we are facing. We say everything is big and better in Texas, but I think our challenges and our issues are also big here. When it comes to healthcare, Texas leads the nation in uninsured people. 1 in 5 don't have healthcare. They're unable to get healthcare, or they're underinsured or uninsured. When it comes to mental health, 1 in 6 Texans is suffering some kind of mental illness. And you know, mental illness in itself is a big, significant problem, because we know that people with anxiety, depression, stress, they cannot be 100% productive what they do. But it also plays a role in comorbid conditions. So if you have a heart failure, diabetes, and you also have depression on top of it, it takes a longer time to cure, to treat. There was a study that says the people admitted with heart failure in the hospital, their length of stay was shorter than people with heart failure and depression. So we need to be more proactive in healthcare rather than reactive, which we are right now. Mental health affects all of us, irrespective of our social class, our religion, our ethnicity. But when it comes to the treatment of mental health, the minorities are disproportionately affected. You know, about 53% of the Caucasians get treated for mental illness, but when it comes to African American, the number goes down to 37%. When it comes to Asians, the number goes down to 20%. It is not acceptable for Texans who need help, he wants help, and they cannot get help. And I'm grateful for foundations like Ibn Sina who are bridging that gap. And I am here to promise you that whatever is possible in my power, I will help, so our Texans should get the care that they deserve and they need. Thank you.
Representative Lalani, thank you so much, and thank you for your leadership. With that, I'd like you all to join me in welcoming Congressman Al Green, who's brought something with him. as he comes in. Chairman Rapani is right here. We're going to ask you, sir, to speak a few minutes, but also to present the check. I just want to say, I'm going to say he is a very tall man. He's taller today. He has done many, many things for many people, for my family. My brother-in-law was abducted overseas, and if it wasn't for Congressman Al Green's leadership in putting the Texas delegation together, he might not have been back. He might have been dead in some jail. So he is somebody who is a significant leader in many, many ways. Today, he's more special than ever because he's brought a big check. So with that, Congressman Al Green.
Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that very warm and kind introduction. Would you kindly give Mustafa a big expression of appreciation for all that he does across the length and breadth of our city, our state, and our community? Thank you very much. I hope that this won't interfere with the microphone that's before me. And I do have a check, but I have a few words that I'd like to say before presenting the check, if I may. And I'm going into my pocket now to take out my reading notes. The check will come out later.
It does not need reading notes.
Just present the check. Thank you so much, friends, for being here today. This is a very special occasion. This clinic means a lot to this community, but it also means a lot to me personally. And I'll get to the important aspect of this, but I have to say this. When we had the COVID crisis, the pandemic, this clinic was very much important in helping me to get to events. In Washington, D.C., we have to, with short notice on many occasions, get a test so that we'll be eligible to go to an event, usually to the White House. So, for example, I'm going back to Washington, D.C. There will be a special event taking place this week. I will have to get tested. This clinic has been very, very helpful in helping me to get the tests done timely. So I want to thank all of the persons who are associated with the clinic. I would especially want to acknowledge a person that you do not know as Dr. Rapani, but that's how I know him. Dr. Rapani, give him a hand, please. I know him as Dr. Rapani because he does not have a medical degree. But when you heal and when you provide medical attention to as many persons as this clinic does under his leadership, as far as I'm concerned, he's a doctor. So, doctor, thank you so much. Give him a hand, please. Dr. Now, I can't mention everybody here who's important, so Judge K.P. George, I cannot call your name. I'm sorry. Too many people here, Senator Whitmire, for me to mention all the names, so I can't call yours. And of course, we have, yes, the newly minted commissioner from Precinct 4. Precinct 4, all right. She's already been announced, I assume, so I will not call her name. I'm not going to call the city council people over here. I see them. Their names can't be called. Just too many. But I can say this. All of them are people of goodwill who wish to make sure that mental health service is something that is accorded all people who need it. Because in this country, mental health in general, is not something that should be accorded based upon your privilege or your station in life. It's something that you should receive simply because we have it, we can afford it, and you are in need of it. And my pledge is to make sure that every person who needs health care in this country gets the health care that they need, regardless as to your station, regardless as to how much money you have, regardless as to who you know. If you are sick in this country, you should get health care. Now I shall share a few notes with you and make the presentation as promised. Although the state of mental health across the U.S. is of concern, the state of mental health in Texas is of grave concern. According to the Mental Health America organization, a nonprofit that has engaged in mental health advocacy in the U.S. for over 113 years, 19.86% of adults are experiencing mental health issues. This percentage is equal to nearly 50 million Americans. Furthermore, Mental Health America's research indicates that the state of mental health care in Texas is among the worst in the nation, especially among the uninsured. The nonprofit's research also found that the prevalence of adults with a cognitive disability who couldn't see a doctor due to costs ranges from 18.48% in Rhode Island on the low end to 40.65% in Texas, the worst in the nation. Let me pause just a second and say this. I love my country, I love my state, but that doesn't mean that I can't be critical of some of the things that are taking place and that I don't want to see these things changed. And for them to change, I have to make reference to them. And I think that it is sad for the state of Texas to be at 40.65% and be the worst in the nation when it comes to persons who have a cognitive disability, who cannot see a doctor due to the costs associated with that medical care. We are the richest country in the world. If you are engaged in mortal combat with us, if we should wound you, we will provide you aid and comfort. If you are a bank robber and we should wound you as you are attempting to flee with your ill-gotten gains, we will provide you aid and comfort if we should harm you in the process. If we can provide aid and comfort to the bank robber and to the enemy combatant, surely we can provide it to every everyday American who's just trying their best to make ends meet. Similarly, the prevalence of uninsured adults with mental illness ranges from 3.8% in Massachusetts on the low end to 21.5% in Texas, again, the worst in the nation. This is why I am proud to have secured $1.6 million. That would be $1,600,000 for many of us in federal funds, funding to develop here at this clinic for the development of mental wellness and this mental wellness center that they have here at the Ibn Sina Willcrest flagship clinic. This much needed wellness center is slated to scale up mental health issues and services for Houstonians by making treatment available for a variety of conditions, including anxiety, depression, and ADHD. Additionally, the federal funds will allow Ibn Sina to expand their availability of mental health services to 6 days per week and increase the number of behavioral health professionals available to the public, including psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors. I salute this clinic for their distinguished efforts to address the health challenges facing our community, especially uninsured, low-income, and minority populations. Access to health care and mental health services saves lives. And I would also add, they make all of us better and safer, because sometimes the persons with these issues will do some dastardly things. We have seen what has happened in some of our schools as a result of persons with mental health issues. This clinic will be in the business of not only helping the persons who are directly impacted with mental health concerns, but also many persons that they may come into contact with. So now, Dr. Rapani, if you'll come with me over to this area, and everybody who believes that they ought to be a part of this presentation, if you'll come as well. I assume that Senator Whitmire believes he ought to be a part of this. I assume that Judge George assumes that he ought to be a part of this. I assume that the city council persons and the county commissioner assume. But anybody that assumes that you should be a part of this, please join us down front. for the presentation. Please join us down front if you assume that you should be a part of this. All right, thank you very much. Dr. Rapani, on behalf of the constituents of the 9th Congressional District and the people of the United States of America, as your member of Congress, I am proud to present this symbolic check. This is to symbolize the greater check that will come later, but in the amount of $1,600,000, and I proudly do so. Proudly present this to you for the great work that you are going to do, but also it's being done in recognition of the great work that you've already accomplished. You have done great things, and it's because you have a great reputation for being a person who can manage dollars well that you're receiving this $1.6 million. And also, it's because you're just a good and decent person. Thank you very much, everybody. Give them a hand, please.
Okay, but board of directors, if you're still out there, please come grab them up.
Advisory board? Advisory board?
Advisory board, advisory board.
Advisory board members, please come forward.
Media partners, tell me if y'all need anything.
We are good. Just so quiet.
Well, with 1.6 million, you know, there's not much to say after that. Mr. Rapani, you tell me when you're good.
Pool camera, are you good?
I am good.
Okay, all right. And at this time, I'm going to entertain questions from the pool camera. We invited them to come out today. We appreciate your being here. It's important for the people in this area to know that this service is available at this clinic. So we'll entertain any questions that you might have.
Can I talk to you one-on-one after?
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay, sorry about walking. I apologize. I didn't announce that. Okay, so.
Well, I think it's a great day for the organization. This organization has been an asset to this community, especially during the pandemic, when it was really needed, when people had to get their vaccinations, when people needed to get tested. This organization has been here. Ibn Sina has proven to this community and to our city, hopefully to our state, that it is worthy of additional help. They have informed me that they have this need to expand their mental health facilities. This $1.6 million will help them do just that. In Texas, we unfortunately rank among the very worst in the country when it comes to helping people who have mental issues. We want to do something about it. Texas should not be last. Texas should be the best place in the country to live and the best place in the country to get good health care.
And where are these funds coming from?
These funds are coming from the tax dollars that we send to Washington, D.C. We're bringing our tax dollars home from a project called Community Project Funding. This community project funding is a means by which Congress people can identify worthwhile, meaningful projects and get them funded. It will shorten the time frame for which these things will be funded, because ordinarily you'd have to go through some department, you'd have to do a lot of other things. Well, this process works very efficaciously, and we want to make sure that we continue it. But to continue it, we have to obviously make sure that the funds are utilized to the benefit of the community in a very, very, very much needed way. There's a need here, we're satisfying that need.
Something else you would like to add?
Yes, I would like to add this. I love my state. It means something to me to be an American. But it also means something to me to let the people know that we need to do some things that we haven't done. We need to make sure that we take care of people with mental health issues. We've seen how this can impact not only the person with the issue, but also others. We've seen what has happened in schools. We've seen what's happened in the Walmart stores and other places. We want to make sure that we stop this mental health crisis that is impacting not only the person with the issue, but also impacting people who can become victims of the behavior of a person with mental health issues.
What is the timeline on getting the center open?
Well, the timeline for opening the center is something that I will leave to the people who work here. But I can tell you that the funding is something that they will start the process of requiring right away. The Appropriations Committee in Congress will give them instructions in terms of how they are to respond with certain documents that they'll have to present. It's not going to end right here with the symbolic check. They will really have to do things that will assure the public that the funds are being spent properly. And they will. They have the ability to do it. I'm very confident of that. And it will be done. This $1.6 million will be delivered.
So is there any notion of having more
I would like to see all of our clinics receive funding. You have to start someplace. I like to use the analogy of the Super Bowl. You don't get to the Super Bowl by playing all of the teams at one time. You win one game at a time, and sooner or later you win enough so that you're in the Super Bowl. Well, we're headed to the Super Bowl with these clinics, but you start with one and you build on that. I'd like to see all of them funded that can manage the funds and help the people.
Okay, pretty good. Thank y'all so much.
How are you feeling? This is a big check coming your way.
I am so excited. This is the largest check we've ever received. So this is really a great honor for all of us at Ibn Sina. So myself and our board is very honored, and we really want to thank Congressman Al Green for really working hard to receive this funding, and really want to thank again from the bottom of my heart to Congressman Al Green for his efforts. Thank you.
How will this $1.6 million be used?
This $1.6 million will be serving almost 10,000 new patients here in this facility. We are creating a brand new facility that will serve this 10,000 patients for the mental health services.
What kind of services are those, and what have you seen as the need for services over the last 2 years with the pandemic?
This is, I mean, it's a nightmare for all the professional medical services provider, especially the mental health service provider. There's a huge shortage, and we are trying to address that. Really, we need a workforce for mental health services. And this building is going to address both. We're going to provide service to the community and also address the workforce shortage. We're going to make sure we have a pipeline created for the workforce also, for the mental health.
I know they're going to have 5 clinics, so how can you be able to ensure that
we have selected few days in a month to provide mental health services on the other locations. As the need grows, we will be able to expand. But right now, we only have few days per month on each location.
you have a time frame when you all start?
We basically, I think our target is to really start the full service by end of 2024.
Anything else you want to add, something we didn't ask you?
No, I think it's we are very thankful to the entire elected official leadership here that is present here today for their support. We would not have been able to achieve this without their support. And I would really thank the community for their continued support. We would not have achieved without their support. So thank you, all the donors, all the volunteers. Thank you, board. Thank you, advisory board. This is a pride for all of us. Thank you.
Again, I really want to thank Congressman Al Green for your support. This would not have been possible without your support. So thank you for your dedication. Thank you for the trust that you have on us. We would not, I would say, we'll give you more than money's worth that you said.
We have always been supporting the community, and we will continue to support. Again, I want to really thank Congressman Al Green for his leadership to the community, and I know how committed they are. So I've seen him through the COVID services. I've never seen anyone working hard. He was literally picking up the water cases himself and putting in the cars of the community who are needing the support. So thank you for your commitment and the service that you do. So thank you again for being here. Thank you all the leaders for being here. Thank you for being part of our journey. And this is just a beginning. So we're going to continue our journey further. Thank you. I'm going to read this appreciation award that is for Congressman Al Green for his dedication and commitment to promotion of mental health and behavioral health. This is an appreciation award presented to Congressman Al Green.
Well,